Salams and welcome. We're busy with our episode number in the series of how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is episode number 22. How he transformed the rough Bedouin deserts from desert dust to dazzling diamonds, and that is why more than 2 billion Muslims regard him as a hero and a role model. And we showed that in the ranking of the 100 top greatest beings on the face of the earth, Muhammad has been placed number one by an American Christian author. And we are busy now. We've spoken about the various concepts, Tawheed, Risala, and we are busy now with the concept of exemplary justice. And we ended the previous episode by showing how the Prophet ﷺ signed a treaty between the Muslims in Arabia, because the Prophet now was the leader of Arabian society. He was now the king of the whole of Arabia, and Islam was spreading widely. But he did not enforce Islam on anybody, because chapter 2 of the Quran says very famously in, I think it's verse number 256, that Surah Baqarah, there is no compulsion in religion. So this is a very, very powerful verse. There is no compulsion in religion. No one can force you to become a Muslim, because to have faith is a condition of the heart. All that you can do is explain to someone, okay, this is the Islamic point of view. This is what the Muslims believe in. If you like it, you listen to it. If you don't like it, then to you be your way, and to me, we be our way. Okay, there's no arguments, there's no debates. And myself, I don't go into arguments. In any case, I'm in severe pain today. My pain levels are very high, and that is why I'm very, very down at the moment today. But we keep trying, we keep persevering. And then that's why you guys, you keep me going with your support. So keep on encouraging me. And then I keep reminding me, like today is a difficult day, but I keep telling myself that, you know what, don't quit. I keep reminding, there's an X here which means don't quit. Don't quit. That I say, please, so don't quit. No matter what difficulty we're going in, we got to keep trying, because if I'm in pain, there's other people in worse pain. So I want to share knowledge, even if one person can benefit. So I apologize today. I'm really down today. I'm really, really down, but I'm trying my best. Okay, so we spoke about the Christians of Najran, and the Prophet ﷺ gave the assurance to say, you guys, y'all are okay, y'all are safe, y'all are under my protection. I'm not forcing y'all to become Muslims. In fact, I will give you the assurance. So he gave the Christians of Najran a signed document. Najran is the southern part of Saudi Arabia. And this is part of what the document says. It says the lives of the people, the Christians of Najran, their lives are under protection. Their surrounding area is protected. Their religion is protected. Their land is protected. Their property is protected. Their cattle are protected. And let's go further into this contract. It says, and those of them who are present in Najran are protected. Those of them who are absent, maybe they're gone on holiday or they're gone on a business trip, they are also under protection of the Muslims. Their messengers are also under protection. That means if they travel anywhere in the desert, they will be under the protection of the Muslim army. And their places of worship, the churches and the temples are under protection. They are under the protection of Allah, God most merciful, and the guardianship of His Prophet. So in this way, the Prophet ﷺ built bridges. Then he did another one, the Constitution of Medina. When the Prophet ﷺ came into Medina, he drew up a constitution to show commonality and building bridges. Building bridges between the Muslims, the Jews, the Christians, the polytheists, whoever was in the city of Medina. The first thing the Prophet ﷺ did was he built a mosque. The second thing he did, he developed a contract called the Constitution of Medina. And this constitution was signed by the Muslim immigrants from Mecca, known as the Muhajirin, whereas the helpers in Medina are known as the Ansar. So the Constitution of Medina was signed by the Muslim immigrants from Mecca, together with the indigenous Muslims of Medina, the Ansar, and the Jews of Medina. This is another important example of justice, beautiful and perfect justice. As a result of this constitution, which established justice between communities with different beliefs and ensured the protection of their various interests, long years of enmity and hatred was brought to an end. The Prophet ﷺ ensured peace. So instead of the Christians, the Jews, and the polytheists and the pagans and the people and the Muslims in Medina, instead of everyone fighting with one another, there used to be a 100-year war between the Aus and the Khazraj. These were the people in Medina. There were two major tribes, the Aus and the Khazraj. And there used to be, for 100 years, over a small thing they would fight. So there used to be, Medina was a place, there was a lot of turmoil. Because you must remember, it was a lawless society. There was no law and order there. If you harm someone, they won't just destroy you. They will destroy your entire tribe. So if you do anything wrong, if one person harms another human being, the entire tribe will stand up. That tribe will stand up. This tribe will call its friends and allies, and then it'll be a massive warfare. So by instituting this constitution of Medina, the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, now we are all living together in the city. Let's understand one another. Let's work nicely with one another. Let's respect one another. I, as a Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ is a Muslim. So he said the Muslims will respect the Jews. The Muslim will respect the Christians. The Muslim will respect even the pagans who are there. Whatever your belief is, the Muslim will respect you. Similarly, the Christian must respect the Jews. The Jews must respect the Muslims and Christians and the pagans. So it was an understanding that because we are all living in the same city, we are in the same country, let's stop fighting with one another. Let's be tolerant of one another. So this message of tolerance, which we spoke about, it was earlier on, we spoke about in chapter 11, we spoke about the superb tolerance shown by the Prophet ﷺ, and it is this example of his amazing tolerance for other religions, other people, that people loved him. They say, look, he's so understanding. He's not forcing anyone to become a Muslim. He's not forcing the Christians. He's not forcing the Jews. He's not forcing the Buddhists or anybody else. He said, you know what? You are under our protection. Let's live together in harmony and in peace. And if you got a problem, come to me. And he would even help them. If Muslims, other nations were struggling, he would help them with food, with whatever they needed, arbitration in their disputes. He would be there for everybody. Why? For the simple reason that he is rahmatal lil alameen, a mercy for all mankind, a mercy for all the worlds. This is his beautiful standard, and he's on an exalted standard of character. You cannot reach his standard of character. The most ethical, the most moral, the most person with the highest personal integrity, the most kind person, the most gentle person, the most loving person, the most forgiving person, the most tolerant human being. That is why he is a role model to 2 billion Muslims all over the world. They love this man to bits because he showed how it is to be a better human being, and how must you react in times of difficulty, and how you must be stoic, how you must be strong, how you must have sabr and shukr, you must have patience and gratitude. Many times we forget about gratitude, but you must have patience and gratitude. And then one of the most outstanding features of the Constitution, of the treaty, is the freedom of belief it established. The relevant article states, the Jews of Banu Auf are one nation with the Muslims. The Jews have their religion, the Muslims have their religion, the Christians have their religion, and we should tolerate and understand one another. So one of the main reasons why the golden age of Islam was one of peace and security. Now the golden age of Islam, we know, was 1,000 years of peace throughout the entire world in Baghdad, where we know it's Iraq. And we knew in the early, was it at the turn of the millennium, in the 2000, was in 1999, 2000, somewhere there was the invasion of Iraq, and so many fabulous UNESCO sites were destroyed. This was the golden age of Islam. This was the seat, the hub of the capital of the Muslim empire, the Ottoman Empire, and afterwards it came. But 1,000 years, for 1,000 years, there was peace in the entire world. So when Islam is in control, unlike, you see, the media give a wrong understanding of Islam to say, oh, be careful Islam, these people are terrorists, these people want to kill. This is far from the truth. I mean, history shows that when Muslims were in control of the world, there was 1,000 years of peace. There was religious tolerance. They were under the Muslim empire. The Muslims were staying there. The Jews were staying there. The Christians were staying there. The Buddhists were staying there. The Hindus were staying there. The Chinese were staying there. All the communities, even the atheists were tolerated. The agnostics were tolerated. Everyone was regarded as a human being, with a reminder: firstly, there is no compulsion in religion. Secondly, we have all come from the first human being, who is Adam, made out of clay. Clay is made out of sand and water. So at the end of the day, our origin is dust. We are going to go back to dust, and we need to tolerate one another as human beings. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ taught all of us. Stay well and look after yourself.